She came home from Jamaica with 2 new tattoos. One was the letter A etched onto her hand. The other, a mysterious date, day, month, and year. Her husband thought it was for him until he found out it wasn't. A rising star. It all started back in 2009. That's when Andreen met Andreen McDonald in Jamaica. From the start, it was like something out of a dream. He was a US Air Force major stationed in Texas. She was young, smart, and beautiful. The chemistry was instant, and things moved fast. Andreen brought her to the States, to San Antonio, and they got married. They built a life together, had a daughter, and by all outside appearances, they were chasing the American dream. But Andreen McDonald, she wasn't just a wife or a mum, she was a powerhouse. She earned her degree in finance and launched her own assisted living business, Starlight Homes. It didn't just survive, it thrived. Before long, Starlight became a multi-million-dollar operation. Andreen didn't stop there. She gave back too, sending support and charity back home to Jamaica. She was proud of her roots, and she made sure her success meant something beyond just dollars. Even with her plate full running a business, raising a daughter, and juggling life as a military wife, Andreen made her health a priority. She was strict with her workouts, never missed a gym session. Her friends knew her as someone who showed up, pushed hard, and stayed disciplined. The morning everything changed. It was a Friday morning in San Antonio, Texas, March 1st, 2019. Employees at an assisted living business were confused. Their boss hadn't shown up, but that morning, there was no sign of her. Not at the gym, not at the business, nothing. No calls, no messages, just silence. Her staff got worried. They picked up Andreen's mother, Maureen Smith, from work and drove straight to her house on Solitude Cove. As soon as they walked inside, alarm bells went off. Andreen's purse, keys, and ID were all still at the house. Her car hadn't moved. Her phone, though, that was gone. Then a deputy arrived and saw something no one had noticed before, a smear of what looked like blood on the light switch in the bathroom. Next to it, strands of hair. In the backyard, there was a burn pile, and in the ashes, something shiny, the zipper from a woman's blouse. And just like that, this wasn't a case of a missing woman anymore. Something terrible had happened inside that house. As detectives started digging, more cracks began to show. From the outside, they looked like a happy couple. Friends thought things were on the upswing. But the truth was, things had been rocky. Investigators found out that not all of Andreen's trips back to Jamaica were about philanthropy. Some were for love. She was seeing someone, and Andreen didn't know, at least not at first. But in the summer of 2018, something changed. Andreen found out about her secret relationship. And that discovery, some believe, was the beginning of the end. Secrets, tattoos, and a sudden disappearance. When Andreen McDonald came home from Jamaica in 2017, something about her had changed literally. She came back with 2 new tattoos. One was a simple A on her hand. The other, a very specific date, day, month, and year, inked clearly for all to see. Andreen, her husband, didn't think too much of it at first. But curiosity got the best of him. He decided to dig around, and what he found turned that curiosity into suspicion. During a scroll through social media, Andreen came across something that hit hard. One of Andreen's ex-boyfriends, Oban, had the same tattoo, the exact same one, same style, same location. Just like that, the meaning behind the A on her hand was no longer a mystery. It wasn't for Andreen, it was for Oban. And the date? That was Oban's birthday. Not just the day and month, but the year too. Andreen was furious, and who could blame him? He confronted her. That's when the truth spilled out. While she was visiting Jamaica, she'd reconnected with Oban. It wasn't just an old friendship, it was a full-blown romantic reunion. They'd been teenage sweethearts, and now, years later, she'd rekindled that spark behind her husband's back. Andreen felt betrayed. He reportedly threatened to end the marriage unless she cut all ties, and definitely no more tattoos. If she wanted to save the marriage, she had to cover them up. She agreed. And for a while, it seemed like things were getting better. In February 2019, Andreen even threw Andreen a party for his 40th birthday. Smiling, laughing, surrounded by friends. On the surface, the McDonalds looked like a power couple back on track, but what no one knew was that behind the scenes, the cracks were growing deeper. The fight. The night of February 28th, just hours before Andreen vanished, the tension boiled over again. Andreen had just found out that Andreen opened a new business, and to make things worse, Andreen had discovered the secret during a meeting at a tax preparer's office. That discovery set off a chain reaction. When the couple got home, they had a heated argument. Andreen claimed he left the house to cool down and went to a gas station. But their fight didn't stop there, it continued over text. Messages between them revealed deep cracks. They weren't just arguing about the business, there were accusations of cheating, infidelity, and talk of divorce. In one text, Andreen wrote, "Andreen, I don't care if you file for divorce." She fired back. He replied again. At some point that night, something went terribly wrong. Andreen told police that when he returned home, he thought Andreen had gone to sleep in another room, but that was a lie, and it wouldn't be the last one. A disturbing discovery. By the next morning, Andreen was missing. The blood in the bathroom, the burn pile, the clothes, everything pointed to violence. Andreen came home to find police in his house. He told them they had argued, but claimed not to know where she went. As soon as a detective showed up, he stopped talking and asked for a lawyer. The next day, March 2nd, 2019, Andreen McDonald was seen on surveillance video inside a Lowe's hardware store. He was buying items that frankly made the hairs on investigators' necks stand up. A shovel, an axe, a hatchet, gloves, trash bags, and 2 red 5-gallon gas cans. In the afternoon, he went to a nearby gun shop and bought a 9mm handgun and ammunition. Investigators watching the house saw him back his car out of the driveway and they followed him. He never got to use that gun. Officers detained him as he walked to his car from the store. They turned him over to the military for a mental evaluation. They feared he might try to harm himself or someone else. The sinister shopping list. Back at the house, investigators executed a search warrant. What they found was chilling. All of the items from Lowe's were now in the garage. Trash bags, tools, a hatchet, heavy-duty gloves, a shovel, gasoline, and in a nearby trash can, they found a torn receipt with the list of purchases. But that wasn't all. On Andreen, they found a handwritten shopping list. It wasn't some random collection of chores. It was a list that matched everything he bought, almost like a to-do list for a cover-up. The prosecution later argued that this wasn't a man reacting in panic. This was calculated, cold, planned. Lead investigator Frank Stubbs said, "It doesn't look like yard work. It looks like someone who's planning to destroy a body." The search grows wider. Meanwhile, San Antonio rallied. Volunteers, around 200 of them, came out to help search for Andreen. Alongside trained search and rescue teams and law enforcement officers, they combed through fields, woods, and neighborhoods. Everyone was hoping to find something. Anything. At the same time, a second, more thorough search was underway at the McDonald home. The FBI was now assisting Bexar County, bringing in advanced forensic tools to examine both the house and the vehicles. What they found was haunting. In the back seat of one of Andreen's vehicles, lying on the floor, was a suspicious item. Though it hasn't been fully detailed yet, it was enough to deepen the belief that Andreen hadn't just walked away. She hadn't disappeared. She had been taken violently, arrested, but not yet for murder. On March 3rd, 2019, Andreen was released from the Air Force's psychiatric hold. He was immediately arrested, but not for murder. Prosecutors charged him with tampering with evidence. That torn-up receipt in the trash can, that was enough. By April, he posted bond and walked free. All the while, Andreen was still missing. Andreen's mother, Maureen, and the rest of her family were devastated. For months, volunteers and law enforcement searched fields, creeks, and wooded areas around San Antonio, but they had no body, and without a body, murder charges couldn't stick. On July 11th, 2019, everything changed. A friend of a landowner stumbled upon skeletal remains in a field just 6 miles from the McDonald home. It was a desolate patch of land. Andreen's body had been stripped naked, dumped, and then set on fire. Bones were broken. Investigators believed she had been hit with a hammer post-mortem. A medical examiner couldn't pinpoint an exact cause of death, but the brutality of the scene left little doubt. That same day, Andreen McDonald was arrested again, this time for murder. He pleaded not guilty. The trial begins, but this wouldn't be a fast trial. The case dragged on for nearly 4 years. Finally, in January 2023, Andreen McDonald's trial began. The courtroom was packed. The story had gripped San Antonio and beyond. On the 6th day, Andreen took the stand and, for the first time, gave his version of what happened. According to him, the fight turned physical. He said Andreen punched him and he tripped her. She hit the floor hard and he kicked her twice while she was down. Then she started wheezing. He claimed he left her there and went to check on their daughter, who had gotten up. When he came back, he said Andreen was dead. What he did next horrified the jury. He stripped her body, dumped it in that field, and burned her clothes in the backyard. He admitted he returned the next night, lit the body on fire, and repeatedly hit her remains with a hammer. The defense. Andreen's lawyers painted a different picture. They showed videos of Andreen powerlifting, flipping tires, and even carrying Andreen on her back. They said she was stronger, more dominant, that Andreen had acted in self-defense, but jurors weren't buying it. They may not have had video of the killing, but they had the receipts, literally. On February 3rd, 2023, the jury delivered its verdict. Andreen McDonald was found guilty, but not of murder. He was convicted of manslaughter and tampering with evidence. The judge sentenced him to 20 years in prison. He appealed the conviction, but in August 2024, his appeal was denied. The court upheld the original decision. Justice, at least in part, had been served. But the courtroom drama wasn't over. In March 2024, a civil jury awarded $210 million to Andreen McDonald's family in a wrongful death lawsuit. It was one of the largest awards in San Antonio's history. The little girl left behind, and perhaps the saddest part of all of this is the little girl left in the middle. Elena, their daughter, was just 7 years old when her mother disappeared. She was nonverbal, autistic, and now left without either parent. She likely witnessed more than anyone realized. At one point, investigators said she may have seen her father burning her mother's body. She now lives with Andreen's mother, Maureen Smith. This case is a reminder that appearances lie. You can live in $1 million house, drive luxury cars, and take smiling photos at birthday parties and still be sitting on top of a powder keg. Domestic violence hides in plain sight. Control, secrets, silence. And in this case, that silence cost Andreen her life. She tried to protect herself. She warned people. She told friends, if anything happens to me, look at Andreen. And she was right. And if this story moved you, shocked you, or just made you want to know more, like this video, leave a comment below and subscribe for more stories like this one. Stay safe and take care of each other.